Hey everybody, Jem Schofield of the C47 and another episode of Gearbox 2.0. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Sirui. That's right, I said Sirui, so let's get started. All right, kiddos, it's another week and another episode, and we are in the future space of the first studio here in the barn. It is not insulated. It's not soundproofed in any way, so if you hear some sounds, you'll know what those are. So Sirui, spelled S-I-R-U-I, but Sirui, I have been told, is the correct pronunciation, is a company that makes monopods, tripods. They're coming out with an anamorphic lens soon, which I'm pretty excited about, in X-mount, which I'm hoping to be checking out with the XT3. They have little heads, big heads for video, for stills, and they make some nice stuff. This P326, I don't know what the P stands for, it's got to be something, is a monopod that I have actually owned for a number of years. It is carbon fiber, which I prefer because it gets nippy out in the winter and aluminum gets really cold. It packs down so dang small, under 16 inches, I believe. Has a spike in the foot, and it gets really tall for such a small, because it has so many stages, for such a small monopod. You can see, whoops, there's one more stage. Look, there it is. So that's pretty good. So if you're doing some stills work or you're doing some video work, it works really, really well for that type of application. And it's something that goes with me basically everywhere because it takes up almost no room in the case. It also doubles up because you can go 3, 8, 16 or quarter 20 by just reversing the threading on this thing. For me, it does double duty sometimes as a makeshift boom pole. I have used this many a time, and it is great for small to no crew production. Now, number 2 is this right here. And this is something I've now been using for 6 to 9 months on the road. It is a small, compact video head. Now, this is not going to compete with the larger heads that have true counterbalance and dialed in drag with different stages, but it's all metal construction. It's very, very small. It's called the VA-5. Again, I don't know about the naming convention, but that's the product number. And what I really like is its Arca Swiss, which is my preferred type of mounting here for mirrorless cameras, DSLRs. And what I also like is that it has a safety here. So you do, just like a normal video head, you have to have a release here to take the plate out. The plate has, coming out of the box, 3, 8, 16 and quarter 20, which I think is awesome. It has a built-in leveler on here, and then you can basically dial in your resistance. And the trick, of course, when you're getting a small head like this and you're traveling and you're using it with a camera system about this size, is you want the tripod to be small as well. Now, unfortunately, Sirui doesn't have a tripod that's small enough for me. They do have some really nice ones that fold into themselves, and they are small, but I like ones like this. This one is happens to be made by Benro. This is an older one that I have, carbon fiber by Manfrotto. You're gonna have to find the right match for you with this head if you wind up getting it. Basically, it's got a lock here for pan, and you, again, don't dial in a certain amount of drag, but it is smooth once it's on there. And then you use the pan handle, and you're gonna hold on to this when you are panning and tilting, unless you have a very, very lightweight camera system, let's say an A6400 with a smaller pancake style lens. It's probably gonna be hard for you to balance this perfectly with taller setups like this where you basically have a monitor with a battery. But I very much like this particular little video head, the VA-5. And again, just like that monopod that I showed you, it's something that's going with me basically all of the time when I am traveling. Now, the third part of this equation, and again, we have the smaller monopod that you can use this head with, is this right here, which is a larger monopod that Sirui makes. This is a carbon fiber model. They do make this in an aluminum model as well. This is the P, Again, I don't know what that stands for, 224SR, and this is the carbon fiber. And this particular kit comes with the VA-5 head. So you can buy this separately, you can buy this separately. And what I really like about this monopod is while it doesn't collapse down to the size that the P326 does, it's about 9 or 10 inches longer in its smallest compact form, is that it has other features that you're not getting with that. Now, still reversible in terms of 3/8, 16, and 1/4 20. Has this little handle. Actually, the other monopod does. I just took it off. And it gets really, really tall in terms of overall height, which I also really like. And it has tripod feet. Okay, so if you want this to be stable on the ground with a camera system, and it's a small mirrorless camera, you can absolutely do that. Wouldn't do it if you have 40-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, but on a regular day, it wouldn't be a problem. There's a release here at the bottom that you can release so that you can basically tilt the whole monopod when you're using it. And then the thing that I really love about it is it breaks down into different configurations. So what you can do is you can take that tripod off of the bottom, and you can convert it, and you can put a rubber foot for the monopod. You can put a spike there for the monopod. And then the coolest thing for me is you can take that tripod that is down at the bottom, and you can basically convert it to a tabletop tripod. And it comes with an additional, basically, connector here to make that 3/8, 16 or 1/4 20. So all of these little accessories are inside of the bag. Now, you can also lock the pan head here on the actual VA-5, and there is pan built into the actual monopod itself. Quality, very, very high. Again, this is not replacing your high-end fluid head. In fact, Sirui does make some larger heads, but those do not have Arca Swiss, so I probably wouldn't use them if I was sticking to my mirrorless or DSLR form factor cameras. That's a pretty good overview for you guys on Sirui. Hopefully you'll check out some of their stuff. I've been using it, as I said, for a while now, and I like the way it's built, I like the way it functions, and I'll see you guys next time on Gearbox.